the rest of the instructions that Jesus gives his 12 before he sends them out. We only looked at a couple of them. But halfway through the chapter, he says that, you know what? Don't be ashamed of me before men. Because if you are, I'm going to be ashamed of you before God the Father. He talks about people will not listen to you. And it's okay. In the verses that we read, because if they don't listen to you, just leave. You don't have to be like, well, this is the truth, and like we usually, like the church usually does, and get into this huge argument. I always joke and I say, you know what, I'm going to tie my Bible to a baseball bat. So people, I'm just kidding. But the principle is this: we get into an argument and we do all this for people that don't understand. We're not going to convince them. Just serve them. Share the message. People will not listen to you. Some people will. A disciple, they go out. And the disciple makes faith a priority. They trust God for the results. He's the one that's on the throne. He's the result giver anyways. We're not. The last thing is a sent one makes persecution a blessing. Makes persecution a blessing. And Jesus, after these verses, he goes, okay, some people will not listen to you, but then he takes it a step further, and he said, you know what? There will be people, and they may be in your own family, that will turn you over to the authorities to be persecuted. And he goes on and says, some of you may even die because of your faith. And he says, he doesn't say this may happen or if this happens. It's in the context of, guess what? It will happen. People will misunderstand you. People will reject the message. And don't be surprised of who the people are that will reject that. He says, you know what? If you get turned over to the authorities, don't worry about what you're going to say, because the Holy Spirit will tell you what to say. He says, don't be concerned about the people if they kill you for your faith. Don't be concerned about that, but be concerned about the one, being God, that can destroy your body and your soul. Because that's what we should be concerned about. And so he talks about, and I put in the notes, makes persecution a blessing. The blessing is this. Jesus closes the section that he will stand with those who claim Christ, who share Christ, who are not ashamed of the gospel, that will share the message. Jesus is going to be standing with them at the final judgment. Those who do not, he will not be standing next to him. That's the blessing. We share Christ, and we're not ashamed of it. Jesus will stand there. See, people will deny Christ. They will deny and reject the message all the time. We got this letter this week to the church. I want to read it to you because Jenny gave it to me, and I copied it out. Like, this is a keeper. I'm keeping this one. It says, Dear Church Administration, recently several of my family members received flyers from a religious organization. These were left on our doors even though we have signs clearly posted that we do not wish to receive such false religious material. We are a Buddhist family who follows only the pure, uncorrupted Dharma and truthful way of Buddhism. We do not wish to join your luncheons or clothing exchange, whose true goal is not to provide food or clothes, but to trick people into joining your church and learning the false teachings of Christianity. We appreciate your organization's future adherence to our family's private property rights and cessation of distribution of such poisonous materials. People will reject the message of Jesus no matter how it's presented. Period. How do we react to that? Fine. Those of you that are delivering the flyers and everything, if there's a sign, pass. Say a prayer for that house, pass by it. That's what we do. I read that, and throughout this whole country and throughout this whole world, people have sincerely believed what they believe. And you know what? The road to hell is paved with sincerity. Who's true in this? The message, we will get rejected because of the message all the time. It's okay. It's okay. Be polite. If there's resistance like that, it's like, okay. Because you're not going to change their mind or their heart. God has to do that. We can be a vessel, but we don't have to engage in an argument with that. And that's actually written from one of the main Buddhist people in Southeast Michigan. Is kind of what I gathered from that. So it makes, a sent one makes persecution a blessing. We will have resistance. A disciple goes out, and a disciple expects that resistance to God's message. We just expect it. So, what are our next steps? What can we do with this? Jesus sends out the 12.